Have you ever heard of the Buddhist tradition of placing salt in your shoes? This ancient practice, rooted in the wisdom of Buddhist and Oriental medicine, holds profound spiritual and health benefits. In the next few minutes, you'll discover 5 powerful reasons why this simple ritual can transform your life. Join us as we delve into a captivating Zen story, revealing secrets that will leave you speechless. Stay with us until the end to unlock a wisdom passed down through generations. Ready to embark on this journey? Let's begin. The mystical practice of putting salt in your shoes. Have you ever heard of the Buddhist custom of putting salt in your shoes? This ancient practice, originating from the wisdom of Buddhism and Oriental medicine, holds profound significance. Salt, known for its myriad uses beyond cooking, serves as a versatile ally in many aspects of life. From enhancing flavors to disinfecting wounds, salt is a formidable companion in our daily life. But did you know that for Buddhists, placing salt in their shoes carries deep spiritual and medical meanings? Let's explore this fascinating tradition through the eyes of an ancient Zen story. The ancient monastery and venerated monk Makoto. In the heart of a serene valley, surrounded by the mystical aura of the Japanese mountains, stood an ancient Buddhist monastery. This sanctuary, a guardian of timeless wisdom, provided refuge for those seeking inner peace. Time seemed to stand still within its walls. The monastery was home to the elderly and revered monk, Makoto, whose wisdom and deep understanding of Buddhism and Oriental medicine shone like a beacon in the night. One tranquil morning, as the golden rays of the sun filtered through the branches, Makoto gathered his disciples in the monastery cloister for a lesson. With a serene expression, he invited them to sit in a circle around him and began to speak in a warm, reassuring voice. Every step is a sacred journey. Every step we take on the path of life is a sacred journey, began Makoto. A path that leads us to self-discovery and understanding of the universe around us. Just as we must prepare for a long and arduous journey, we must also ready ourselves to face the challenges of our earthly existence. The disciples listened intently, captivated by their master's words. When Makoto mentioned the ancient custom of putting salt in shoes, their minds opened to the wonder of a tradition as ancient as it was mysterious. This practice, Makoto continued, has roots in the distant past when our ancestors traversed wild and rugged lands. In those times, salt was not just a condiment, but a precious commodity, a symbol of purity and protection. Makoto paused, allowing his words to settle like delicate sand in the minds of his disciples. Then he continued, I will now explain the 5 main reasons why putting salt in your shoes is so significant for our spiritual journey and health. Absorbing moisture and suffering. First, Makoto said, salt has the power to absorb moisture, just as the Buddha absorbed the suffering of the world. When we put salt in our shoes, it helps keep our steps light and agile. In Buddhist practice, humidity symbolizes the heaviness of worries and suffering that we carry with us. Just as water in our shoes slows us down, so too do our worries and tensions hinder our progress toward inner peace and enlightenment. Putting salt in your shoes symbolizes the desire to free yourself from these burdens, maintaining a lightness of spirit despite life's challenges. To illustrate this, Makoto shared the story of an old fisherman who, during a storm, saved his boat from sinking by using a bag of salt to absorb the water. Purification of the path. Secondly, Makoto continued, salt has purifying property. By absorbing impurities, salt purifies our path, freeing it from harmful influences and spiritual obstacles. This practice protects our mind and spirit from the deceptions and temptations of the outside world. To better explain, the monk told the story of a traveler who, during his journey, encountered a river infested with evil spirits. Thanks to the salt in his shoes, he crossed the river unscathed, protecting his mind and spirit from negative influence. The third reason, Makoto said, is that salt helps us maintain balance. Just as the mountains symbolize stability and strength, putting salt in our shoes helps us root ourselves in the earth, remaining steadfast in life's storms. The mountains around the monastery represent stability and strength. Just as these formations remain steadfast despite storms, so must we maintain our inner stability amid life's challenges. Salt in your shoes symbolizes this balance, anchoring our steps and preventing falls along our path. To clarify, Makoto shared the story of a young monk who found perfect balance during meditation by a stormy mountain stream, thanks to the salt he carried. Healing properties of salt. Fourth, Makoto continued, salt has healing properties. In Oriental medicine, salt is considered a natural remedy for relieving pain and tension. Putting salt in your shoes can soothe both physical and mental discomforts encountered on our spiritual journey. To demonstrate, the monk told the story of a farmer who, suffering from an open wound on his foot, found relief by soaking his foot in a saline solution. A gesture of gratitude. Fifth, Makoto said, putting salt in your shoes is a gesture of gratitude. Salt is a precious gift from the earth. Using it mindfully reminds us to be grateful for all life offers, both joys and challenges. The disciples listened with deep reverence, grasping the wisdom behind the seemingly simple gesture. But Makoto wasn't finished. Looking his disciples in the eyes, he added, there is one more reason linked to this practice. It connects us to past generations and all who have walked this earth before us. Every grain of salt represents their stories, challenges, and victories. By putting salt in our shoes, we join an eternal bond of wisdom and resilience, transmitting their spirit and strength in our footsteps. The deep connection. Faced with this revelation, the disciples were speechless, contemplating the depth of this simple gesture. They realized that for Makoto, salt in shoes was not just an ancient practice or symbol of protection and purification, but a connection to humanity itself and all the lives that had come before. As the Buddha said, if you want to know the past, look at your present. If you want to know the future, look at your present. This practice embodies that teaching, linking us to the past and guiding us into the future. Integrating the practice into daily life. Now that we understand the deeper significance of putting salt in our shoes, how can we integrate this practice into our daily lives? Mindful preparation. Begin by preparing a small amount of salt each day with intention and mindfulness. As you place the salt in your shoes, take a moment to reflect on the symbolic meanings. Absorbing suffering, purifying your path, maintaining balance, seeking healing, and expressing gratitude. Daily reflection. Use this practice as an opportunity for daily reflection. Each morning, as you put on your shoes, consider the lessons and stories associated with the salt. Reflect on your own journey and the challenges you may face. This simple act can set a positive tone for your day. Evening gratitude. At the end of the day, remove the salt from your shoes and take a moment to express gratitude. Reflect on the day's experiences and the ways in which the symbolic presence of salt may have influenced your actions and thoughts. Sharing the wisdom. Consider sharing this practice with others. Explain the significance and the stories behind it. By spreading this wisdom, you help others connect with these ancient teachings and incorporate meaningful rituals into their lives. Conclusion. The practice of putting salt in your shoes is a beautiful example of how simple actions can carry profound meaning. Through this Zen story and the teachings of Monk Makoto, we have explored the spiritual and practical benefits of this ancient custom. By understanding and embracing these 5 reasons, we can enrich our lives, deepen our spiritual practice, and honor the wisdom of those who came before us. As we walk our path, let us remember the words of the Buddha. If you want to know the past, look at your present. If you want to know the future, look at your present. Each step we take, lightened by the presence of salt, connects us to the timeless journey of humanity and guides us toward a future of wisdom and peace.